Hello, lovely people. I welcome you once again to Bright and Clara's channel. Thank you all for clicking. This is episode 2 on a 4-bedroom house that we are putting up for Mr. Williams. Alright, so this house, we built it for Madam Kate, if you recall, at Winneba. And so my subscribers saw it and was interested, so we had to modify it. Okay, we had to modify. If you look at the roof, this is different from the earlier one. You understand? Yes. This is the old roofing, but we modify it to a different standard. In your view is the total breakdown of the cost of the project, which is approximately $40,289. Okay, $40,289. All right. So I welcome you all to Koforidia. Okay. Yes. So in episode 1, we taught ourselves on the essence of profiling. You understand? And in the profiling, we did talk about the demarcating whatever the architect has done on the paper. You need to demarcate that onto the land. Are you with me? You need to demarcate that onto the land. That is the profiling. And you can do that through the structural drawing. You understand? There are 2 forms of drawing: architectural drawing and then the structural drawing. Architectural drawing deals with the block plan, which is the layout of the rooms and all of that. The structural drawing had to do with digging of the trenches, the columns, the size of the beams, the iron rod, bending schedules. Okay, all these had to do with the structural drawing. So every mason will need a structural drawing to be able to plot their profiling. Without a structural drawing, the mason would have to rely on the block plan, which perhaps sometimes is not accurate. You understand? So in the block plan, you can't know where the columns are. You have to use your own imagination. But with the structural drawing, they indicate exactly where the columns are. And so you're able to follow through, especially through the grid line. And then where they've indicated there's a column, you would have to dig that one as well. So the land has been cleared, profiling done, and now digging has commenced. Okay, digging will take 2 weeks depending on how hard or soft the land is. Okay, and also it depends on the depth that they have to go. This is just a ground floor building, so our total depth will be 2 feet 6 inches. 2 feet 6 inches. So the columns is what we meant by 6 inches. The foundation trench itself is 2 feet. You understand? So that is how it's going to be. Because of the slope of the land, there's going to be some form of steps. Okay, there's going to be some form of steps in the room, because if we want to follow a uniform oversight or a uniform or a level or attain equilibrium, where they are digging down there would have to consume a lot of blocks. And then also we have to do a lintel beam, or what we call footings beam. We have to do a footings beam on top of it. And that is why I always require that before I even complete your estimate, I have a view of your land. Because a view of your land will let us know how to prepare the estimate, what are the things we need to consider. You understand? And if an architect is designing a house for you, he also needs to see the land, and based on the topography of the land, he will design your house. Most architects are unaware. They just design, and not all houses are suitable for every type of land. You need to design the house based on the land. You understand? It is very, very important. So my architect did a wonderful job. Yes, he did a wonderful job. So here we have Mr. Steven, who is a project foreman. Yes, we are going places. We are going places. So it's going to take us, like I said, 2 weeks, if all things being equal, because it rains a lot here. There's a lot of rains right here, and we didn't even take it easy at all. So digging of the trenches, once the digging of the trench is done, then we have to go into digging of the columns. Once we are through with digging of the columns, by that time the steel bender will be on his way, putting together the iron rods, or what we call the reinforcement. So the reinforcement will be done by the steel fixer, okay, with the mat. At that time, your aggregate should be available. Your aggregate means your stones. Your sand should be available. Your blocks should be available. Cement should be available. You understand? All these are necessary. Okay, so if you're putting up a 4-bedroom house, approximately you need about 1,000 blocks for your foundation. Depending on the capacity of the house, you may need about 1,002 or 1,300 blocks for your foundation. Again, it will depend on the slope of the land. Some areas like this one, you have to lay the blocks flat based on the slope of the land. So you're going to consume a lot of blocks, somewhere around maybe 1,500 or even 2,000 blocks. There are some houses that are huge, the layouts are more, so even the foundation, we can use 3,000 blocks only for the foundation. Sometimes 3,500 or even 4,000 just for the foundation. You understand? It depends on the capacity of the house, and that is why you will require that amount of blocks. Okay, iron rods, because this is a short ground floor building, we are using 14 mm. Okay, we are using 14 mm. Yes, I believe that Madam Kate in Winneba, she used 12 mm high tensile. So you can use 12 mm high tensile or 14 mm standard. Are you with me? 14 mm standard. So that's what we use. So it will help you reduce your cost. You don't necessarily have to use 16 mm right here because this is just a ground floor building. Are you with me? Cement, DPM, okay, yes. Waterproof chemical. We are using a waterproof chemical, which is the Vitalia. It is very, very important. Okay, make sure it is damp proof. And so once you damp proof your land, in the future you are safe. You are secure. Don't say, oh, my land, from how I see it, I don't think it is necessary. No. Put the DPM. Prevention is better than cure. Just put the damn rubber. You understand? Just put the rubber there and you will be safe. Don't let anybody talk you out and say, oh, when I consulted XYZ, they said, oh, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. You don't need it. Please put the DPM, add your waterproof chemicals, okay, and then make sure the cement 42.5 out, the ratio is good enough, and then pour your concrete. In that way, you can sleep with sound mind. You understand? You can sleep with sound mind, knowing very well that you've done all the necessary precautions, and that will safeguard you in the future. Yes. Now, digging of trenches can be very expensive. They charge per meter, maybe every 1 meter. Some people charge 10 Ghana cedis, 20 Ghana cedis, 15 Ghana cedis, 30 Ghana cedis, depending on the area and how hard the land is. You understand? So every 1 foot, or let's say every 5 foot, depending on how they take their measurements, the person will say every 1 meter I will charge you 30 Ghana cedis per meter. You understand? Yes. So when he says that, then you calculate how many length that he's been able to dig. Are you with me? You estimate how many areas that he's been able to dig. And when they are done with the digging, then they'll have to come and dig the columns. And that is another charge. Digging of the column is another charge. So when someone gives you an estimate and you see digging of the trenches alone, that is hard work. Now someone would want to use an excavator to dig the foundation. But at the end of the day, you will still need a human effort to dress. You see how this thing have been dressed properly? It looks linear, it looks clean. The excavator can't do this. Excavator will dig it faster, but it will be rough, it will be non-linear, it will be crooked. You will still need human effort to straighten things up, and that is double standard. You end up paying more. You understand? You end up paying more. Yes. So for me, I prefer the manual excavation, unless of course the extreme where there's an underground water tank or some areas we notice that it's too hard to dig, then we bring in the excavator to be able to do that. Are you with me? Apart from that, you need to know the type of soil that you're building in. In clay areas, you need to dig deeper. You can't just build on the surfaces of the clay. Your building will collapse or it will crack. You will experience a lot of crack within your building. Make sure that if you've seen a clay area, either you dig deeper and get the natural soil. Are you with me? Yes. Or perhaps you have to, some people what they do is they dig the surface of the entire land and get to the main ground soil before they put their foundation. Or they dig, well, as you're seeing now, they will dig the trenches, make sure they get to the natural soil, and then when you're done with the footing work, they will have to clear the surface of the land with the clay. They will clear that one before they pour in laterite. You understand? All these are ways of preventing cracks and collapse in your building. And as per building civil code, when there's a crack at the top of your building is not disqualified. But when there's a crack in the foundation, then your building is disqualified. And that is the bottom line for everything. In a company, you need trust in the foundation, building trust. In a relationship, in our marriages, we need that bond, that foundation, that trust. Once that trust is broken, everything is in shambles. You understand? Once that trust is broken, and for me, I dwell on trust. You need to trust people high enough. Respect them. Okay? Yes, think highly of people. Now, once they disappoint you, you will feel as though you've overrated them. But that is how life is. Yes, your expectation might not be their expectation. And everybody set a philosophy for himself. I set a philosophy for myself that I will be honest at all times. I will be truthful at all times. In case of anything, I tell the person the truth. Some people can't handle the truth. The truth hurt them so much that they feel as though, man, you've been dishonest. But that is the truth. Some people don't know how to handle the truth. Are you with me? See how beautiful the trenches have been dug. So beautiful. So beautiful. So our columns, our mat, everything will be done according to whatever we have been preaching here and whatever we have exercised or perhaps indicated in the estimate. From foundation, block work, laterite filling, superstructure, lintel work, gable, and then the roofing. So we have a lot of work to do. And our Mr. William is so keen on ensuring that by the time he touches down, this house is completed and he's going to walk straight into his room. Is that not beautiful? Myself, I'm going to do same. I'm going to make a video of myself boarding my flight from Dubai all the way to Ghana, and once I arrive, I get down to a car, I head straight home, and I walk straight into my house. Oh, what that day is a beautiful day. I can't wait for that day. I can't wait for that day. Man, it's gonna be bomb. Yeah, so if you need our services, please do not hesitate to write to me. My name is Mr. Bright Antonio. I am the CEO of B&C Constructions. Okay, my email is bright&clara@outlook.com. Okay, bright and Clara@outlook.com. From me to you, shalom. God bless you wherever you are. Bye bye.